let's debunk some of the common myths that we are seeing coming out from some media outlets, alternative media outlets. This won't be a rant, but this is for the safety of everyone, because it seems that we all see that the mainstream media obviously is not reporting on this as they should be. But when we have the alternative media also not reporting on this correctly and making people feel that it is just some type of hoax, or it's a brand new thing, or all of these things, that could be just as dangerous. Okay? So it seems like China is really freaking out now. And of course our government is very concerned about money, because that's what they keep talking about. Oh no, stock prices. It's amazing. But the thing that I get the most of is that the coronavirus was never supposed to be in humans. That shows right there it was weaponized. Well, let's see if that's true. First, I want to thank all my loyal viewers that stand by and have been following me for all these years and know what I've been putting out is based in truth, because I show you the evidence. Is this Ebola? Is this a pneumonic plague? Or is this coronavirus? Well, they are all very, very similar, which I have shown over the last at least year. So the reason it upsets me when, like, it doesn't upset me, it just upsets me that people can't see this. So I just want to say this. Thank you to my normal viewers, and to those who aren't. I want you to understand that these people that you're telling me about, Scenario 201 and the Pattons and Bill Gates and all of these things, by these big YouTubers that know so much, where were they 5 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, with that couple from Fiji that still has not gotten an answer for their death? That's a veteran. The husband was a veteran. We still haven't gotten an answer for how they died. And the symptoms were very, very similar. So these people that you are bringing me this information about are people that have been doing about 5 seconds of research when I've been doing over a year of research. Okay, let's get on with this. Okay, so this is from the Pediatric Infectious Disease Journal. Human coronavirus was first characterized in the 1960s and are responsible for the substantial proportion of upper respiratory tract infections in children. Since 2003, at least 5 new human coronaviruses have been identified, including severe acute respiratory syndrome, which is usually called ARS, which caused a significant morbidity and mortality. NL63, representing a group of newly identified group 1 coronavirus that includes the NL and the New Haven coronavirus, have been identified worldwide. And it goes on and on. So the history of the human coronavirus began in 1965 with Terrell and Byron found they could passage a virus named B814. It was found in human embryonic tracheal organ cultures obtained from the respiratory tract of adults with the common cold. And then they went on, they had another one that was the 229E, which is either sensitive or therefore, that's the one that mutated, and it causes most of our common colds. Oh, I'm sorry, the 229E. Is that what I said? Yeah, 229E. So not only has this was first identified in the 1960s, but whenever they, because that's kind of when we have electron microscopes and all of these other things, they end up finding that the Spanish flu and a few of the other ones were coronavirus-like. So for the people that are saying that this was not supposed to be spread to humans, that's just a lie, because SARS was a coronavirus. The common cold is a coronavirus. The common cold, every year, it's a coronavirus. Corona only means that the outside of the cell looks like a crown, hence corona. Okay, so, and you can go on and read all of this information about it. Again, this is another journal article. Human coronaviruses, first characterized in the 1960s, are responsible for a substantial portion of the upper respiratory tract infections in children. Since 2003, at least 5 new human coronaviruses have been identified. And this is from PubMed. This is the site that in nursing school is where we would use to get our research and things like that. So it's very reliable. So for people to be studying this and trying to find a cure for this or find a vaccine for that is normal. It's been around since the 1960s. Another thing that I keep getting a lot of is that this was patented in 2015, and since this coronavirus was never here before, this is a brand new virus. How could they have a patent for it? Well, is that true? Let's see. 15. Well, let's read this patent, y'all. 2015. It's a very vague patent. The patent, essentially, to summarize it, so this doesn't have to be so long, it essentially just says that they're looking at all coronaviruses to try to have a vaccine, a cure, whatever. And they specifically talk about the N229E and all of those things. And I've gone through all of that. The sequencing, everything's in here. And none of this patent is connected to this NCOV. See, and it goes through the alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and all of that. Another thing that people seem to not understand is they're getting this information saying that this Canadian woman went to China, she took the virus and brought it to China, and that research lab is in Wuhan, so it must have came from there. They must have... Y'all, you'll have to remember, well, for those who actually watch my videos all the time, you'll remember that I spoke about this months ago. I knew this wasn't from no fish market in Wuhan because the first cases that we found out about were not from there. They were from the country. Like, in the country, like what we would call in the country. It wasn't in a city. The real reason to panic about China's plague outbreak. This is back from November, y'all. And for my normal viewers, you'll remember this one. The Chinese government's response to this month's outbreak of plague has been marked by timidity and some fear, which history suggests is entirely appropriate, but not all fear is the same. And Beijing seems to be afraid of the wrong things. Rather being concerned about germs and their spread, the government seems mostly motivated by the desire to manage public relations. Yep, well, that's what most countries do. And that's why, yes, China is absolutely to blame for this. So, but this is what I want to show you. They initially, so this couple, the first couple that we in the public found out about was not from Wuhan. they initially sought care some 250 miles north of China's capital in Inner Mongolia, a frigid cold region that straddles the border of China and Mongolia. That's the first case that we had, that we knew about. And the only reason that we knew about it was because that's where it came from. So the cases that may have came from China or whatever, this did not start in Wuhan. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. And people want to say, oh, you're CIA, you're what? I mean, that's so silly. I know it didn't come from the fish market. I know it didn't come from the Wuhan, whatever. It came outside of Wuhan. Gosh dang it. Are you kidding me? Foreign policy trying to take my money. So you have to log in. But anyway, you saw that. And if not, I'm going to put the video that I did months ago at the end of this video so you can see that this did not start in Wuhan. So all of these silly stories that are saying that this Canadian woman took it to the place in Wuhan or that it came from this fish market in Wuhan, that's false. The first cases were not in Wuhan. Okay. Let me see. So the 4 types of human coronavirus, I essentially went over all that. But I think y'all get the picture. So the people that are telling you all of these things, they're not telling you the truth. They're just telling you what's hot and what's going to get some clicks. Because, oh, it's a lot more interesting to say that this was bioweaponized and all of these things. Y'all don't understand how the communist government of China works. They're not good people. They knew this was happening and they allowed it to happen because they didn't want to mess up trade and all of these things. I mean, obviously that happens here as well, but the thing is, it's different here because we're not censored, and that's what is the big deal. And that's what you're going to see in my other video. You're going to see that was the big deal. The Chinese government took down this doctor's story, and they had to report about it on a tech website. I mean, it was ridiculous. That's the only reason we found out about it months ago. Okay, so I hope that helps people understand why I'm saying that this did not come from where all these people are saying. And when they say, oh, but they had the 201 scenario simulation months ago. Well, y'all, yeah, they did. And they used the coronavirus. Okay, coronavirus still has been around since the 1960s. If not before that. That's just whenever it was found because we had the technology to actually find those type of things. This has been around for ages. So it's not weird to do all of these things. Are these people nefarious? Yes. But does this say that they are guilty for this? No. And saying those type of things get people like me that actually put out truth taken off of YouTube, y'all. I just want y'all to know the truth, and that way you can be prepared. If you have silly information, and really the main reason I'm doing this is because people seem to think that there's a cure or a vaccine or that this is a hoax, and that's scary that people think that. You know? Now, don't be fearful. I've always said that. Just be prepared. Just watch who you follow. And there are many others. But people are sharing things, only taking a small bit of consideration into something just so they can hurry up and put out a spicy video without any research into it. The Chinese government was absolutely derelict in their duties. I reported about this months ago. If I knew about it, I think China knew about it. And now all of a sudden they're building 4 more hospitals with 1,000 beds. But yet they only have 1,000 patients infected? Does that even sound right? It doesn't. As always, be prepared. Good hand washing techniques, you know, don't go into any crowded places. Don't go to any big places. I would not get on a plane. Absolutely not. Right now, we don't even have a travel ban. And the CDC and other organizations are saying that this could lay dormant for up to 2 weeks without people showing symptoms. And they're still letting people fly in and out of China. That's pretty irresponsible. It should be shut down. So, and it also can stay in the carpets for up to 7 weeks. So, I wouldn't get on a plane, wouldn't get on a bus. Don't go, I mean, go to don't be fearful. Just be prepared. Okay? So, anyway, y'all have a wonderful night. Bye, guys.